See if I can get some air. Oh, what's up, internet people? It's your local neighborhood Dan, guys, for another internet video. Right now, I'm on my way to Road Atlanta to hang out with Wow Motorcycles. They got this booth set up there, and I'm supposed to do a whole bunch of cool shit there, so I figured I'd make a little video on the way there. What do you think about all that, bitch? I've been doing more and more in these, what you call them, moto vlogs lately. I guess it kind of brings people back to the old school, like, do it with Dan videos and whatnot, and it's good to do these and kind of catch up. I got about another hour left, so I figured I'd go ahead and crack one out. Let's see, I actually have a topic today, too. I very rarely go out and make topics, you know, but I want to talk about something. But I want to talk about something, you know, I try to stay as transparent as I can with you guys. Damn, girl. Hello. I want to tell you guys about the time I was arrested for stealing and my past history as a thief. I want to say for the past, like, 4 years, I've been really good as far as, like, breaking the law. The only things that I do are, you know, speeding and, you know, other traffic infractions that I don't really find it that big of a deal. But I haven't really done anything, like, super crazy in the past couple of years, which is good. It's how I wanted to be. A little stappy. So I've been a good boy. I've been a good boy, Daddy. Speaking of which, I might create some sort of traffic infraction right now. Must resist urge to be dick. Alright, fuck it, here we go. Can't resist any longer. But that wasn't always the case. Back in my troubled youth days, I was a bit of an asshole. Nothing super serious, I guess. Just the occasional, you know, brick of cocaine and killing a couple of hookers. I mean, who hasn't gone on a PCP bench and shot at a couple cops, am I right? Truth be told is, though, that back in the day, I used to be a bit of a thief. And that's something I'm proud of. It's not like one of those stories that I tell is like, yeah, I used to steal. It's like just something that's about me that I can't change. And before we get finished with this, let me just say that I 100% believe that theft is wrong on all aspects of it. What am I, OJ? Back in the day, me and my friend Robert, it's fucked up because that's his real name, we used to go to stores and steal a lot. I mean a lot. We got an old Bronco too. Hey, speaking of Broncos, Robert drove a Bronco. It was a red Bronco. It wasn't a Bronco 2, I think. I think it was just a Bronco. My balls are all fucked up. I don't really know how to start this story because I don't remember how we got started doing it. I think it starts out kind of the same way it always does. You know, if you lived in a small town where there was nothing to do, what did you guys do? You would go to Walmart and hang out. At least that's what we did. We would just go to Walmart and walk around. You occasionally break things. And I think it started out with the fishing poles. I'll start it out there. The first instance I can think of where we started being assholes and stealing kinda was with the fishing poles. So Robert and I would go to Walmart, and to find a good fishing pole, we would basically bend the fishing pole from end to end, and whatever one didn't break is the one that we bought. And we would snap like 10 fishing poles per trip sometimes. It's kind of fucked up, but that's what we used to do. So we'd snap fishing pole after fishing pole, we'd find 2 that didn't break, and then we'd buy them. Again, this isn't something that I'm proud of. This is just me telling you of who I used to be, I guess. I don't know. None of this shit's cool, by the way. Like, I thought it was fun and cool at the time. None of this shit's cool. Ah, dude, I hate when this shit happens, when you get stuck behind some slow piece of shit. But that's when we actually used to buy stuff. And I don't really know how this started, but I think one day we were in Target and Robert's like, I want a radio. So we're like, let's go look at radios. We just took it out of the box, and instead of paying for it, we stole it. And I don't know why we did this. I don't remember the original reason. I mean, other than the fact that we're a bunch of broke kids and we wanted a radio. Like that, I know it's fucked and it's not the right way to get things. But that's the only thing I can think of as to why we did that. There was no rhyme or reason. There was no like, oh, I need this radio. You know, it was just kind of like, hey, we're stealing this radio. So we did. And it kind of really snowballed from there. Up until this point, I really had no like past history of doing anything super crazy. I mean, I drink and smoke weed from time to time, but nothing like fucking like stealing. So yeah, totally jacked this fucking radio. We learned some pretty weird and fucking stupid techniques that I guess I should tell you about. So all these, like, they're car stereos. I don't know if I mentioned that, but they were car stereos is what they were. We started out just stealing radios, but on the back of the radios there was this little tag that was screwed into the actual radio itself. You had to unscrew it. If you didn't, when you walked through the sensors, it would go off. Oh, I remember how we figured out about those tags. So we used to do this thing, it was really, and this is also fucked up, back to my being an asshole days. I went through this real bad asshole phase. Is we would peel the tags off of different products, wait for someone to leave their cart for a second, and then we would stick the fuck me tags, that's what we called them, fuck me tags, because they would fuck you over if you got caught with them. But they're little tags that set off the metal detectors or the sensors when you walk through them. We would unstick them from products in the store and stick them on the bottom of people's carts, like on the rails underneath. And that way, people who'd get done buying all their shit would go through the little fucking sensors and they would go off. Then they'd be all like, well, I don't understand. I'm not stealing anything. Security would harass them for a long time until they figured out that they didn't take anything. I remember one time I watched this poor lady almost get strip searched because of it. That's how we figured out about the tags. I remember that very clearly now. You have to remember, this is in high school, not even senior year. This is like sophomore year maybe. And I graduated in 2011, so probably like 2008, 2009. So we start doing this. We just go to Target. I stole a radio for his Bronco. He stole a radio for my Tacoma. We started out with just like, hey, dude, look, we got radios. Then I was like, you know what we could do? We could use some subs, dude. Oh, dude, it'd be so cool if we had some subs. So we went in. It was middle of December. Went into Walmart where they had those little, they had like those 10-inch kickers. Not the L5s or the L7s, not the square ones, but the round ones. Little 10-inch, I think they're 10-inch subs, and we slipped them underneath our jackets after we removed the fuck me tags and just walked out with them through the gardening section. Big fucking subs, like they're like this big. They just fucking, we would walk out with them, man. Now that I look back and think about this, I'm like, God, dude, not only was that a huge piece of shit, but this was dangerous as fuck. Walmart has their own, like, hardcore anti-theft security. Like, they'll tackle you, they'll tase you, they don't give a fuck. So don't steal from Walmart. Basically, pure and simple. They have their, they will put their hands on you. They don't care. We didn't know this at the time, but you need an amplifier to power a sub. You can't just run it to your car and it'd be okay. So we had to get an amplifier. And we're not spending, you know, $200, $250 on an amp when we can just walk out with it. And I remember this being like fucking, this is when I got hooked, right? I became a fucking klepto, I think, at this point. We started doing it for a while because it kind of just gave us a rush. Like, we got fucking hyped as shit when we'd steal stuff. We'd be like, it like gave you an adrenaline rush. Dude, if I had a supermoto, that'd be a kick-ass little jump. But up until this point, we hadn't had any issues, really. We need amps to run our fucking subs. I want to say that we each, no, they weren't kickers, they were Pioneers. Okay, my bad. I remember now, because they were Pioneer 10-inch subs. We've already stolen a bunch of shit, and we need amplifiers. So we walk in there, we each grab an amplifier, like a little Pioneer amplifier. Nothing crazy, but it's pretty big. It was like this long and about that thick. We just slipped them on underneath our jackets. We'd already removed the fuck me tags. We'd brought dikes and an adjustable wrench to remove them, so we could just have the tools on hand. We'd find a place where the cameras couldn't see us, and we'd basically pick up the product, go to a corner of the store where the cameras couldn't see us, take them out of the package, remove the fuck me tags, hide the package, like somewhere where they probably wouldn't find it for a while, and then we slip them underneath their jacket and walk out. As we walk out of this, we always go through gardening because there was always just nobody there. You could just walk through gardening, especially in the middle of the night, nobody was there. And as we walked out through gardening this time, I heard, "Sir," as I walked through the thing, and as soon as I walked through the little sensors, they went off. I almost fucking blacked out. I had such a weird rush of like adrenaline and fear go through my body. I almost blacked out. My eyes, when I couldn't see for a, like, you know how like if you get really hyped up for a second, you can't really see for a second, like it's an adrenaline rush, you can't see for just a split second, everything kind of goes black. That's what happened. Everything went black for a split second. I couldn't walk. I almost fell over. I turn around and look, and she's talking to someone else, and she doesn't even notice that the alarms have gone off. Robert and I continue to walk casually as fuck to his Bronco, load that shit up, and then leave. We didn't go back for like 2 or 3 weeks, I think, and until after Christmas. Each one of the radios was about $150 to $200 each, and we'd stolen a couple of those because it got to the point now where we were making profit off of them. We'd steal them, take them to our house, and then stack them underneath my bed. I want to say at any given point, at least 15 to 20 radios on hand. It was ridiculous. And we'd start selling them, and that's how I was able to pay for a lot of the stuff that I had done to my truck. I put like a lift kit and some tires and some neon lights and shit on it. It was, hey, oh no, never mind. And if you don't know this, if you steal anything over, I think $500 in the state of Georgia, it's a felony. I don't know if that's Georgia or the whole U.S., but anything under $500 is considered a misdemeanor. Anything over that is a felony. I didn't know that at the time. So we'd hawk these radios off to our friends for like basically half, because we knew that if we didn't have the money to buy them in the first place, they weren't gonna have the money to buy them off of us for full price. You know, the risk for us was out of getting caught, and the reward was Well, we'd make off the radio. There's always a risk and a reward to every business plan, even if the business is stealing. If anyone thinks that I'm doing something cool, I'm not. It wasn't fucking cool at all. At the time, I thought it was cool as hell, but now I look back on it, I'm like, God, I was such an idiot. Well, time goes on, we keep doing this, we make money, blah, 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 blah. We almost get caught. Really, really close. One day we go in there without the idea of stealing anything at all. We're just gonna fucking go in there and have fun and hang out because that's what you do. I don't know if they've been keeping an eye on us or what, but we start fucking around and there's this air horn that I want to pull out of the packaging and play with so goddamn bad. So I do. Him and I find a secret little corner of the store and we start pulling this air horn out of the package to fucking play with and honk at each other. And some old dude comes out of nowhere, is like, put it back in the package and get the fuck out of my store. And I was like, oh, we've been caught. Cheese it! So we fucking threw the thing down and ran out the store and never went back. I don't think I've ever been back to that Walmart since. I have no intentions of going back. If you keep thinking to yourself, Dan, you've done a good job, you haven't gotten caught, what's the harm? Oh, it gets worse. So it always starts out as innocent as stealing radios and hawking them for your own money. That's one thing. Well, time goes on. Robert and I haven't spoken in years. I'm sure he's still doing similar shit, not stealing, but I don't even know what he used to do. He never had a Facebook, and I haven't tried to message him in years. Hey, time goes on. I moved to Brunswick, go to college. At this point, I guess I still haven't learned my lesson. And I start dating this girl. I mean, I've talked about her briefly. I used to date her back when I had the channel Danny Tacoma 4x4 up and running. She was daddy's money, southern girl. Liked horses. I fucking hate horses. Anyway, we start dating after like fucking 2 days of dating. She just basically moves in. It's dumb. We dated for like a year and a half. The whole situation was just dumb. I was an idiot. So I'm a poor college student. She's a poor college student. We struggle to make ends meet like anybody else. We weren't living bad. We had a really nice one-bedroom apartment that we lived together, and you know, we had a dog. Actually, I don't think I had Jax at this time. And we paid rent. We made rent every month, and we made groceries. But I guess to kind of like supplement that, we started stealing groceries because I'm an idiot. This traffic is fucking dildos. So we start stealing groceries, not just like straight up stealing all the groceries, but what happens is that let's say that for every grocery that we bought, there was another grocery that we didn't buy. Funny thing is, this takes place at fucking Walmart. Not the same Walmart. This one's down in Brunswick. When we would do the self-checkout, we would only ring up about half the items that we had in our bag. So if we paid $150, we had $300 worth of groceries. Basically, we did that just by laying items on top of each other, avoiding the scanners, and throwing them in the bags when the attendant wasn't looking. We did this a lot. Like every time for, I want to say, a year. And then we broke up and I stopped doing it. And you think, Dan, karma's got to catch up with you soon. Oh, it does. If you think karma's going to catch up and be a bitch, you are 100% right. Because it does, and it was. So at this point, a couple of grand worth of groceries in the year and a half that we dated together, and it's so stupid. I fucking hate myself for it. But again, we break up, time goes on. At this point, I have a really good job at GNC, working behind the counter, making decent money. I'm making like $8 an hour plus commission, and I'm making fat stacks in commission because I can sell, boy. Suck a dick, suck a dick, suck a big old fat dick. What, were they out of green? That's a joke from a previous video, if you get that, I don't know. And I started to get offered the manager's position. Fuck it, I'm gonna use his real name. Fuck this guy, Steve. Steve's a piece of shit, we'll call him Steve. So Steve is my current manager at the time. We'll use his real name because he's a fucking faggot. His numbers start to suck. They offer me the manager's position because I'm a kick-ass sales rep, right? I can sell ice to an Eskimo. I can sell fire to the devil in hell. I can sell a red Chevy Spark to this bitch right here. I'm sure she's a nice lady. They offered me the manager's position. I turn it down because I can't because of school. I'm a full-time student. Work was my second thing. While I was making good money, I wasn't making enough money for me to be like, yeah, this is better than college. At this point, I don't have a YouTube channel. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Not that this YouTube channel has fixed that. Steve knows that they offered me the manager's position. I told him to turn it down. I'm not trying to tread on his territory. You just keep being a manager. I'll keep making my sales and all will be good. He's like, okay. Time comes again. They offer me the manager's position yet again. I turn it down yet again because I can't because of school. Steve figures that eventually I will answer this fucking call to being the manager and sets me up. Mind you, we just had an award given to us for having the least amount of shrink in all of the county, in all of our district. That means that we had the least amount of items taken out of the store in our entire county Out of everybody, we had the least amount of items taken. Steve's congratulating us. This is how fucking dumb I am. I started getting put more in charge. At a lot of stores, you're not allowed to close the store by yourself. GNC was different. I would close the store by myself literally all the fucking time. And he started giving me this more and more. He'd start telling me to do this. Basically just fill out a piece of paper saying, hey, I did all this stuff and the store's closed. And then you're good to go. Steve's like, because my numbers are sucking, we're going to implement this policy that I should have known was bullshit from the beginning. But basically, this policy, this isn't corporate. This is something Andy said, oh, we'll get better numbers this way. To keep from having a bunch of employee purchases and bringing our numbers down, you just buy all your stuff at the end of the week. If you want a protein bar on the job, you write it down. You buy it at the end of the week. So that way we don't have a bunch of small employee purchases. You just have one big employee purchase at the end of the week to keep our numbers higher. And that's how it works. Bad idea. I should have known this was a bad idea, but at this point I'm an ignorant fucking 19-year-old. I don't know what I'm doing with my life, so I was just like, yeah, this seems a good idea. Your manager, fuck me in the ass, Jerry. No, I've been a good little boy at this point for a while. I've been a good little boy for over a year because I broke up with Kim because she's a bitch. She's a little bitch. She was a little bitch. Well, I've been doing this buy shit at the end of the week thing for a little while. Had it all written down. I was like, you know what? I want some of this shit now, so I write it all down, put it in a bag, and I walk out with it, and Steve's fucking waiting on me. Which, by the way, you can't buy anything over, I think, $10 by yourself. You have to have someone else make the sale for you. So I couldn't have bought it anyway, so it's cool. I figured, hey, I'll just get the sale for someone else in the future. I wrote it all down, I put it in a bag, and I walked out after closing the store. Fucking Steve is waiting for me as I close the store outside, and I have a bag in my hand full of shit that I wanted to buy on Friday. It was Wednesday. I realized at that moment that I was fucked. And he's like, what you got in the bag? I'm like, no, just some stuff I'm gonna get in the end of the week, you know, like I thought we were fucking doing. He's like, give me your bag. I go, here you go. And he goes, you're suspended, give me your key. I was like, what the fuck, Steve? And he's like, this is theft. And I said, we literally just talked about this yesterday. And he's like, there's nothing I can do about it. I couldn't believe it, dude. I was so fucking mad. I was furious because I knew that I'd been duped. At this point, I was unsure, right? Because he lied to me. He's like, oh, I think I can do it. I was like, Steve, don't be a dick, dude. You know exactly what this is about. And he's like, there's nothing I can do about it. I'll have to bring it up with corporate. And I'm like, you're a fucking piece of shit, Steve. A couple of days go by, I get a phone call. Steve's like, come in, we'll talk about this. And I should have just been like, no, fuck you, I'm not coming in. Because at this point, I didn't know I was fired. At this point, I thought that everything was going to be okay. I might have just lost my job. But I thought that everything was going to be okay. No. That's not how GNC fucking rolls. I go in, and they're like, hey, talk to this bitch on corporate. I get on the phone with someone from HR. They're like, tell me exactly what happened. So I tell them exactly what happened. I'm like, yo, Steve did this. This is what Steve did. And that's exactly what we were doing. She puts her on this line with some other dude. He's like, so tell me exactly what happened. So I tell him exactly what happened. I was like, Steve put this policy in place for us to keep our numbers down. It's all under Steve. I was doing what he said. He is the manager. And before I could even like fucking finish what I was talking about, he's like, let me stop you right there. I just want to let you know that we know exactly what you took. And I was like, what the fuck? We have it all right here. And if you just confess to it, we'll let you keep your job. And I didn't. By the way, I don't ever do this. I didn't know. But he's like, if you just confess to it, we'll let you keep your job. We'll keep it outside of the police. And I was like, the police? I heard the word police. And I was like, oh, fuck. I don't want to get arrested. All I heard was the word police. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? I didn't even do anything. So I'm trying to figure out this whole thing. And they're just like, just admit to it, dude. And I was like, what do you want me to say? And they said, just tell us what we want to hear. And I was like, fucking whatever, dude. I didn't do anything. I wasn't stealing. I was just doing my job. And he's like, just tell us what we want to hear. And we'll let you off without calling the police. And I'm like, I don't want to be arrested. So I signed a piece of paper saying exactly what the fuck they wanted. He said, put it in your own words. It's like, what the fuck does that mean? That means that way we can't be fucking sued later for calling you on your bullshit. Ooh, we got a blue Z06. I'm just trying not to get arrested at this point. I'm playing it safe. I'm doing what they tell me to do. And I should have known better, but I didn't. I didn't know better. And he's like, all right, well, thank you for telling us what we wanted to hear. I'll see what we can do for you. And I was like, okay. Can you please hand the phone back to the manager? So I hand the phone back to the manager. And I'm in a little room in the back. They come back and they said he wants to talk to you. So I put me back on the phone. I've been sitting there, no AC by the way, for like an hour and a half. I'm sweating balls. Daniel? I was like, yeah? And he goes, we're prosecuting you. I was like, what? And as soon as I fucking say what, this cop walks around the corner and puts me in fucking handcuffs. At the time, I was so concerned. I was telling this whole story to this cop. I'm sitting in the back of this fucking cop car. And this cop, I tell him everything. And bless this Dude, this cop was the coolest fucking cop in the world. I wish I knew his name so I could go buy him a beer, but he was basically like, if I was you, I wouldn't admit to anything. And he had a notepad that he written everything down from the conversation, because he was in on the conversation too. And he's like, if I were you, I wouldn't admit to anything. I was like, I know that now. And they're waving to me. It's like, yeah, I'm a little wheelie action. I wish I knew this cop, because he was like, yeah, just tell him that you didn't do it when you go to court. And I was like, yeah, I guess I could, but you have all the notes written down. And he pulls out his pad and fucking rips up the notes and goes, what notes? And I was like, you're so fucking cool, dude. That was the coolest fucking experience I've ever had with another cop that wasn't Officer 401. Anyway, time goes on. I go to court. Steve gets fired in the meantime for having shitty numbers because he's a fucking asshole. I'm glad he got fired. This Z06 looks so good. Oh, it's so blue. God damn. Man, that thing looks unreal. It's a C7Z. And he's got the white letters. Dude, I got one of those. Come on, do a pass, do a pass, do a pass. Come on, do the pass. Do the pass. I just fucking did a max pass on a Z, kinda. Man, I wish he wanted to fuck around at C7 Z06. Where the fuck was I? Long story short, so, you know, eventually all the charges were dropped because they figured out they were full of bullshit. Steve got fired for having shitty numbers and some other shit. And I hope he lost his other future job because he's a piece of shit. Although this was karma catching up. Like, karma does catch up, and that's what happens when you steal. You get caught, and that's what happened to me. I got caught. I didn't get caught until the future. I mean, I got caught on a bullshit charge, but hey, I deserved it. I never saw any jail time. I just ended up spending a lot of my own fucking money. In the grand scheme of things, yeah, I definitely deserved it, because I got away scot-free with the previous thefts, you know? And this isn't really like me saying anything in particular, but don't fucking steal, dude. It's not cool. Like, stealing's not cool. It's not worth it. And it's one thing to steal from a corporation. I never stole from anyone personally, which I'm pretty happy about that. Like, corporations have insurance, you know? They pay people for shit like this. If anything, I'm helping the economy. Because even if you don't get caught, like, even ever, dude, there's still gonna be some bullshit that catches up with you, and you're gonna get what's yours eventually. So yeah, now you guys know the type of person I used to be versus the type of person I am now. You think I'm an asshole now? Dude, the type of person I was in high school is not even on the fucking market. Everyone's got a fucking Steve in their life. Can we faster the fuck up, please? Okay, well, I'm gonna do this. Why can't I be like her? Tell me why I can't be like him, and that's some bullshit. Count those old ass pennies, I'm a nuisance. So I guess that I just proved that I'm far from fucking useless. I'm so dumb from talking the facts. All my life been bound in the back. 180 my life when I got in a rap. Artists hate, made me wanna get strapped. But now I'm known all over the map, so check my stats. Every fucking beat demolished when I snap, it's fucking chaos. When life throws you straight away, you do a wheelie. Is that a sign for a sign? Signs. Signs. That's so stupid.